Thursday night's NFL matchup between the Denver Broncos and New Orleans Saints was packed with excitement and a few unfortunate setbacks. The Broncos, led by Javonte Williams, cruised to a 33-10 victory, leaving the injury-depleted Saints struggling to keep up. Williams was unstoppable, scoring 2 touchdowns and racking up 88 yards on 14 carries. He also added 3 receptions for 23 yards, making him a key player for Denver both on the ground and through the air. The Saints, on the other hand, were hit hard by injuries. 15 players were limited in practice leading up to the game, and 7 missed the matchup entirely. During the game, they lost key players like left guard Nick Saldiveri, along with cornerbacks Marshawn Lattimore and Paulson Adebo, to game-ending injuries. This put the Saints in a tough spot, especially considering they were already without their top 2 wide receivers. Chris Olave, out with a concussion, and Rashid Shaheed, who had surgery to repair his meniscus. With the Saints' primary receivers out, the team turned to rookies Bub Means and Mason Tipton, along with veteran Cedric Wilson Jr. Though the receiving corps struggled early on, Wilson managed to pull in 6 receptions for 57 yards and a touchdown. Still, most of the Saints' offensive production came too late, after the Broncos had built a commanding lead. The Broncos' passing game also showed promise. Troy Franklin set a career high in receiving yards, catching 5 passes for 50 yards. While veteran Courtland Sutton remained a constant presence on the field, Franklin led the team in targets and is quickly becoming a top option in Denver's receiving corps. The Saints managed to get some help from Keandre Miller, who made his season debut after a long injury layoff. He led the team in rushing with 36 yards on 6 carries, though most of his production came in the final minutes when the game was already out of reach. Miller could see a bigger role in the weeks to come, especially if the Saints continue to struggle. Injuries also impacted the Broncos, but they navigated the game with key contributions from their roster depth. The Saints, meanwhile, are left with more questions than answers, particularly on offense as they deal with a revolving door of injured players. This blowout loss emphasizes the challenges the Saints face moving forward, as they look to regroup and stay competitive in a tough season. As we reflect on Thursday night's game, it's clear that the Broncos are gaining momentum, while the Saints must find a way to overcome their injury woes. Fans and fantasy football players alike will be keeping a close eye on both teams as they head deeper into the season. Stay subscribed for more videos.